I believe that the New York Knicks will be the Eastern Conference representative in the NBA Finals this year.
I love this. I love this, and I would love for you to just take the floor and give me every single reason why, because I have zero reasons to believe you.
What's up, everybody? This is Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast. I'm here with the What We Learn Houston Rockets edition, Josh Garcia. How we doing, buddy?
Yes, sir. I'm incredible, man. I cannot complain. I'm really happy that Chet had his shine this past weekend. I'm happy that Jimmy Butler missed a couple shots in the clutch this weekend. All my propaganda is fully working itself out, and we're only 3 weeks into the season. I mean, this is exactly what I want. I couldn't wish for any better.
The Chet Holmgren shot against Golden State was highlight of the season, arguably, so far. Jimmy Butler failing has gotten you up in arms. You were just ecstatic about it. You were texting me last night, just living it up, buddy. You were just living it up.
Yep. I even walked outside of the bar. I was watching it standing by myself, enjoying every minute of it. It was perfect.
I don't appreciate the Jimmy Butler slander, but this podcast is brought to you by Zing Zang's Blazing Bloody Mary Mix and the Celebrity Mint. We'll get into both of those later, but we're going to start off with Zing Zang's Blazing Bloody Mary. If you haven't already, go get the Blazing Bloody Mary Mix from Zing Zang. It's great. It's delicious. It's bacon infused. You can get it already made with vodka, pre-made, or you can just get the mix and add your own vodka, add your own bacon, add your own celery, do the things, whatever else you're going to put in a Bloody Mary. Go get the Zing Zang's Blazing Bloody Mary Mix. Make your Bloody Mary today. This segment is brought to you by Zing Zang. This is a blazing hot take. I believe that the New York Knicks will be the Eastern Conference representative in the NBA Finals this year.
I love this, and I would love for you to just take the floor and give me every single reason why, because I have zero reasons to believe you.
Like the Heat, I've always liked the Mavericks. Just kind of been all over the place. Always kept an eye on the entire NBA because this is a players' league. And when you grow up in Alabama, you're either a Hawks fan or a Memphis Grizzlies fan, neither of which are cool teams to be a fan of.
Nightmare blunt rotation, worst combo.
Unless you're from those cities, it's like, I'm okay. Like, I'm all right. I didn't want to be a fan of that. I started watching basketball in 2003. LeBron, D-Wade, Melo. It's kind of just what happened. I followed those players. I watched the teams that they played for. That's what happened. So I've kept a close eye on the Knicks for well over a decade at this point. I believe that the Knicks will make the NBA Finals this season due to a few factors. Jalen Brunson, dog. He's a dog. And if he was still a Dallas Maverick right now, I would just be ecstatic. But we get Kyrie, like, it's all right. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine in Dallas. It's not fine. We're down 9 right now in the second quarter. But nevertheless, Jalen Brunson, leader of a team. I think he's a top-tier point guard. I think he's in the top tier. I don't know why. I just do, because he makes shots when they need him to. He hits shots all the time. He coordinates that just godforsaken offense sometimes, because sometimes you look at the Knicks offense and you're like, what are we doing? Why? What's happening? You put Brunson on the floor, everything starts to look better. Everything looks better. I also believe that the New York Knicks will make a trade at some point this season for a superstar.
Yep, they have to.
It's time. They surpassed Donovan Mitchell. They've been waiting on Embiid. They've been waiting on Giannis. They passed up on Dame, rightfully so, I believe. I think Dame is a free throw merchant, and maybe we should talk about that later as well. Save that for another time. But
those are your own personal videos, though.
But I don't think you can't put Dame with Brunson. We've already seen that with McCollum. It's not going to work. Embiid might be there, maybe this season. We'll see. They passed up on Harden. They passed up on Donovan Mitchell, although they might have another shot to get Donovan Mitchell. I don't know how that fits. Regardless, they have a team that likes each other, and that's due to the Nova Knicks. You got DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson. You've just got all the boys in there. What would you think about Mikal Bridges being a little crosstown trade to
Well, I was gonna
join the
say
Nova Knicks.
he doesn't have to move anywhere. His family's all in the right place. He, I mean, I can't even think of the assets you'd give up. I was personally thinking, since Julius Randle's done, shooting his tour dates, now that he's actually giving more
Right.
production to the Knicks, you have that value where you can go out and get almost superstar for superstar. I mean, of course, you're going to need more assets down the line if you're the Knicks, but to give away, but Mikal Bridges, come on. That, hey, it would benefit the Rockets. We got their picks for the next probably until I turn 35.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
for
a
sure.
long time, but that would definitely benefit the Knicks. I think that I could sit here and say, oh, they need to miss. They're going to get this missing piece, and everything's going to be fine. But I can't really board the train of they're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Oh, they're going to be in the finals. A lot has to go right. It's a top-heavy East, a very weak rest of the conference. You got the Wizards probably fighting for a play-in at the moment, but that's not going to change anything. They're going to be shit. Everyone, the bottom 5 to 7, bottom 10 worst teams in the league just happen to reside there, and the Nets being one of them. We're gonna be really happy if Mikal Bridges or Cam Johnson goes anywhere else. It'll be really beneficial for anybody who's involved, especially
Yeah,
the Knicks.
and I think RJ Barrett taking a leap. I know he's been out the last few games with sickness, but him just being good and not shooting poorly. I think there was a stat the other day that I don't remember what it was. It was things like points, rebounds, assists for a career before age, whatever. And the list was literally LeBron, Wilt,
ESPN.
and RJ Barrett. Not bad.
Yeah. Those Duke guys are just different. Like we talked about last pod. That RJ Barrett coming out, you just saw the raw potential, and just for optics and vibes, left-handed dude, can throw down, can drive, play a little bit of defense for a young guy. It's good that he has all these intangibles, but it's even better that he's turning it around and making a difference at this moment. We're only a 5 or 6, 7 game sample size out of him this year, but from what we've seen, it's really been just leaps and bounds, completely remarkable. And I think that this might be the year that at least he figures it out. I don't know about your Knicks, but at least he might make that, 30-year leap.
I don't know. I believe it. I've been believing in this Knicks team. They seem good. Bad vibes from Randall for a little bit there the first couple of weeks this season, but he's rounding into form now. Mitchell Robinson's been awesome. Nova Knicks, obviously, and RJ Barrett just being good is a huge thing. And then they also have a 6-man quality guy in Emmanuel Quickly, who they did not pay at the end of this offseason. So that could be a problem next year. But they're good. I think they're good, and they have the assets to go get somebody like Mikal Bridges, like Joel Embiid, if that's something that Embiid starts to push on. So I'm looking forward to it. I believe the Knicks will make the finals this season. It'll be an interesting journey for the Eastern Conference because I don't really believe in any team. I just don't. Boston doesn't scare me for any reason at all whatsoever.
And it's sad because Boston is my number one, and I don't think anyone's touching Denver.
Yeah.
I don't think if we get 50, 60 games of healthy Kawhi, PG, Harden, sure, but a lot has to go right for that to happen.
Right.
They're just entering the old folks facility. They just got their social security checks. They're out of it, but I really think the West is just so much more dominant at this point, and it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot for somebody to get out of the East, not named Milwaukee, Boston, maybe
Right.
Philly.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, so that was my Zing Zang's Blazing Hot Take, presented by Zing Zang's Blazing Bloody Merry Mix. What do you have for a Blazing Hot Take there, brother?
I've been thinking, and when we talk about sample size, you got stinker, 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 average game, stinker, stinker, great game in Chet Holmgren. The potential, the upside, the fact that he looks like chopsticks, the fact that when he moves around the court, he just what's happening? I love every minute of it, but what's happening? And Chet Holmgren just has those vibes. He has those. He just passes every single eye test for me. Especially when I was seeing that Golden State Warriors game, I'm really thinking that he's I could say rookie of the year, but I mean, I want it to be better. I want it to be bigger. He has the potential to be an all-time great NBA center within the next 5 years, and I genuinely believe that. And I'm sorry, but it's true.
No, I can't necessarily disagree with you. It's an outlandish take to call him an all-time great NBA center when there's been a
Could
lot
be,
of really good ones,
could
but
be, could
I
be,
believe
could
he
be.
could be all NBA in the next couple of years, just like Shea took his leap this past season.
Yep.
He's on a really good team for this. They develop well. The vibes are immaculate. They all care. As Bill Simmons says, they give a shit. They give a shit. Um,
Wow, that was a great
yeah, they
impression.
just give a shit. I
I
don't
like
know.
that.
It's
Yeah,
the most Bill
Nick
Simmons take
Boston
of all
guy over
time.
here.
I listened to his
Yeah,
podcast on Friday, and that was pretty much the entire NBA section. Was he just gives a shit. He just tries, and I'm like, did you watch?
and I'm glad that you said for this, in regards to their team, it's a great team for this. It's a great team to experience. Chet, they're so young, so fresh, to where you can experiment. You can have 3 and 4 stinkers in a row before you drop 35, or 36, how he did the other night. I mean, this is the squad to do it with. You have Shea, who is just clearly miles above any other guard. I mean, I'm not going to say any other guard. Let me be clear. Any other guard on that team, any other guard in that division.
All
Fair,
right.
fair, fair. We're with it. The team's just running deep at this point. I mean, you got anybody on that squad within the first 7, 8 names in regards to minutes. You can probably put 15 on anybody, 20
Yeah.
on anybody.
Um,
I hate to say their young squad's deep, but I mean they're deep. Like it's
no, they
different.
definitely
Just
are,
different.
and like Bill Simmons says, they do give a shit. Like they are competitive. Like we talked about it with Anthony Edwards last week. See the face of the NBA. He cares. He's competitive. I think everyone on OKC is in the same kind of realm. Maybe not the hyper competitive fuck you mentality that they all have, but Chet Holmgren hit that shot to go to OT the other night against Golden State. Was that last night? Saturday night. We're
Yeah.
recording this Sunday, November 19th at 7:43 p.m. So some games are going on right now, but
Like it
yeah,
was at your
Chet
house.
hit that shot, turn around at the buzzer, 3-ball, goes in, send them to OT. And as he's like running down the court celebrating a little bit, he kind of looks at Steph and he goes, "That's my shit right there, motherfucker. That's my shit." And Shea just had
I
the
love
look
that.
of, "Oh my God, he
I
said
love
that
that.
in front of Steph of all people." And then to
Balls.
go on and win the game
Absolute
too.
balls. That 10 to 12 games in your NBA career. I mean, I know he had
Yeah.
this past year off with injury, but dude,
He,
different. Like, let's be serious. He's different.
I'm not seeing Wimby saying that's my shit, motherfucker. That's my shit. So I'm with you. Chet's gonna win Rookie of the Year. I don't think that's a question at this point. If both of them stay healthy, Wimby's gonna be good, but they're not gonna win enough games, and he's gonna put up more stinkers than Chet is. I think Chet's more
Yeah.
mature in the sense that he was with the NBA last season. He got to see everybody practice. He was in the training rooms probably. Like he's developed a relationship with this team. This team's good. That's the other thing. They're going to make
Yeah.
a top 6 seed probably in the West. Chet's good. Chet's good. He's on my fantasy team. He was my rookie pick.
There you go.
I always take a rookie because I'm like, someone's gonna be good. I took Chet
I like
fairly
that.
early.
Yeah. It gives yourself even more to look forward to outside of the usual
Yeah.
picks. So I like that a lot.
So
Yeah.
that was Zing Zang's Blazing Bloody Mary, Blazing Hot Takes, presented by Zing Zang. Knicks are going to make the finals. Chet Holmgren's going to be an all-time great NBA center, according to Josh, not by me.
You heard it here first.
Before we get into the next segment, let's talk about the Celebrity Mint. This episode is also brought to you by the Celebrity Mint. Go check them out. CelebrityMint.com, at the Celebrity Mint on social media. They've got these awesome tokens of Ric Flair, Mike Tyson. They're a Houston-based company, and we're proud to have them a part of the Apollo Media family. Go check out the Celebrity Mint online and on social media. I think it's time. We're 3 weeks into the season.
What's the time for it?
We did this on Play Action Takes. So if you haven't already, go hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Go check out our NFL podcast, Play Action Takes. We do something we call people under surveillance when things aren't going well. When things look a little fishy, a little suspicious, we bring out the binoculars. Yes. We put them under surveillance. So we're going to do a little something different. Fraud Watch. We're going to put people on fraud watch. They're not under surveillance. They're under fraud watch. So that doesn't mean that they're frauds. It's just that they could be frauds. And we're going to investigate a little bit more, gather details, detective-like work, trying to put someone on fraud watch. You were very excited
Yeah.
about this team that we're going to bring up first. I am not with this, so this is your take, but you have the Miami Heat under fraud watch.
We talked about it last week. I would say it's personal vendettas against Miami. It partially is, but like I mentioned, overexposure, overstimulation. I mean, I feel so confused when I watch the Heat. I hate the fact that they score under 100 points. I hate the fact that they hold teams under 100 points. It angers the shit out of me strictly because this is not what the NBA is. I love all these players that don't feel like what the NBA is, like Jokic, Wemby, all these different alien type of players. When you put all those people on a team and they don't pass the vibe test or the eye test, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, yeah, cool. They're 7-4. They've won games. Great, great. Will they make the Eastern Conference Finals again? Nah, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. I could sit here all night, but I'll leave it with strictly this. Bam. We talked about it last
Mm-hmm.
pod. Love you, Bam. One of the best centers in the NBA, one of the most underappreciated players in the NBA, and that's honestly my saving grace for this Miami Heat team. Or else, I think I would have like a genuine hatred for them, outside of my boy Bam. But I can't watch Jimmy Butler basketball, especially in the regular season. It becomes not just an eyesore; it becomes so much work. I have so many issues with this team. It all starts with Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero. I'm with you. Kentucky Wildcat. I'm with you. I can't do the rest of the squad. It makes me so angry seeing Duncan Robinson play. It makes me so angry seeing Jimmy Butler play. This is all off of emotion. All of this is off of emotion. I have no facts to back this up. All I'm telling you is the Miami Heat will not reach the Eastern Conference Finals. Not this year, not next year. As long as Jimmy Butler is in this league, it is not
So,
happening. And I'll
so
just leave it at that. I'm speaking with my emotion. I'm speaking from
why
the
do you
heart.
not like watching Jimmy Butler play basketball?
He is slow. He is angry. He plays the game with this menacing look. He's angry. He's confused. He wants to kill people on the court. With not with fouls, not with flagrants, not with his Draymond shit back and forth. He wants to kill people with the basketball in his hand. And a part of me loves that. If I was 12, 13 years old, like how I was watching, late T-Mac, how I was watching Aaron Brooks, how I was watching early James Harden, killers are great for the sport. If you kill people and you are injured, do not win. If you are in this weird position where you don't pass my test, I can't be the only one who thinks this. And the Heat to me are just such a weird team. And also maybe it's because I don't like the East. I don't like almost every single team in the East. And that is my biggest issue with them, strictly based off personal reasons. And I would like to just leave it at that. Love you, Bam Adebayo. Thank you for all the memories you've created for me. And I wish you would win somewhere else. Thank you.
I'm just never gonna put the Miami Heat on fraud watch ever, due to Eric
Good.
Spoelstra being their head coach and Heat culture. As corny as it is to say, it works. It always has. It probably always will, as long as certain people are in positions of power. Pat Riley, as long as he's still there, as long as Mickey Rourke and Eric Spoelstra are there, it's gonna keep happening. They're gonna keep getting a superstar and turning them into like a mythical creature of 0% body fat and just playing awful aesthetic basketball and winning basketball games. That's what it is. It's not a fun game to watch. I agree. I just love it so much. It reminds me of the 2010s
Good.
where every game was like in the 80s or the 90s and you're like, this is bad. It was a lot like game 7 of the 2016 finals. The last
Yeah.
4 minutes of that game, you're like, this is awful.
Everybody's missing. Everybody's getting blocked. Braun's missing clutch free throws. Y'all won't talk
No,
about that though.
for sure not.
That's
But I
debated there.
loved it. I love it. I just love the way the Heat play basketball. I wish the Mavericks would play that. the Knicks play basketball like this. It's like
Mm,
it's gross, and I hate it, but I love it.
that's my problem. That is my biggest problem. Is it doesn't feel right to watch. It feels illegal, and that is my
Okay.
problem with this Miami Heat team. It's
And the
illegal.
Heat don't help themselves with the Heat culture shtick and all that kind of stuff. So I get it. I'm not putting the Heat on fraud watch. Let's move on to the next team. The Detroit Pistons.
This
Jail,
is
jail, jail,
being,
jail for the Detroit Pistons.
yes. This is me being a senior in high school, seeing some kid on the side of the road and giving him a noogie or taking his lunch money. I feel bad, but how long is this going to keep going on for? The post the other day. Ever since Instagram was created, the Detroit Pistons have not
I was
won
baffled.
in the playoffs.
Baffled.
Oh my god! Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So if you haven't seen it on Apollo NBA on Twitter, go follow him, Apollo NBA. I tweeted out a graphic someone had put out, and it's like a Venn diagram, and it's like, have you made the playoff, or have you won a playoff game, or have you been to the playoffs since Instagram was created? And there's one bubble with 29 teams in it, and it says, yes, of course, Instagram was created in 2010. There is one team on the far right of the graphic, and it's the Detroit Pistons, and it says no.
Nope.
What are we doing, Detroit? What are we doing?
I feel so bad. I feel so bad, and I don't want to stick on this too long. When will the upside end? Cade Cunningham, you are amazing at basketball, but please, what has got to give? Why is Jaden Ivey coming off the bench? Why is Killian Hayes playing 30 minutes a game? There are so many bad things I want to do when I watch this team play basketball, especially when I'm seeing it on a nightly basis like how I am. I don't like the fact that I've seen multiple Pistons games this year willingly, and that's what hurts the most.
Haven't watched.
I've chosen to go through this pain. I think that's why I feel so strongly about
That's
it.
fair. Head coach Monty Williams, assistant coach Stephen Silas.
No, notable assistant coach Stephen Silas. But we wish success on everybody that is involved with Houston.
Yeah,
Sports, so
sure, whatever. Yeah, Pistons suck. They're definitely on my fraud watch as well. Next team, another Midwestern team, the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls literally just beat the Heat after going down 25-1 in the first quarter, and then coming back and winning by, was it 4-2?
Yeah, I feel bad even mentioning. I'm really glad they got that win, especially after having all this Heat talk earlier. But players only meeting.
Did we see Zach LaVine walk off the court and not talk to the press or media, whatever it was, a little on-court post-game interview?
Yeah.
He was getting grabbed by the Chicago Bulls PR person. He just walked right on through, head down, doesn't give a fuck.
Even put a little hand up. Yeah, give him a little stiff arm.
He wants out in the worst way possible.
What are we doing?
He wants out of Chicago in the worst way possible. Alex Caruso, we would love you in Dallas, Texas. You can come back home. Just saying.
Houston is closer to College Station than Dallas is. Here's my pitch.
Luka. We have Luka.
We have great food. We don't have Luka. And we have a less strict police for your off the court.
Highland Park has its own school district and police stations. So if you would like to go live in Highland Park, I'm sure you could afford it.
Fair. We've got River Oaks.
But yeah, the Bulls are a disaster class, even though they won. I don't care that they're winning games. They don't like each other. The coach has no control over the locker room. Not that a coach really rules a locker room necessarily in the NBA.
Especially
right.
nowadays.
It's just a disaster all around. Every team has been monitoring the Bulls situation for trades since game 3, game 2.
Yeah.
It's literally been reported. The Athletic, New York Times, everybody's been tweeting it out. I'm like, well, just go ahead and do it. Why wait until the trade deadline? Just go ahead and do it. Get LaVine off the books. Get DeRozan off the books. Send Caruso back to Texas in one way or another. Andre Drummond, also, you want to come to Dallas? Rumors have been swirling for years about Andre Drummond. So,
yeah, I will say he would look good in blue. I'll
be great. Bulls blow it up. Fraud watch, always and forever. The Washington Wizards. Gross. I
bad
mean, they're
basketball.
just frauds.
Jordan Poole not paying attention during timeouts. Noted Instagram model and influencer Ruby Rose attending
There it
one of the
is.
games, and then Jordan Poole playing the way he played. Good for you, Jordan. I'm glad that you can, feel the motivation in the right places. That's what young people do. Young people make mistakes. Young people are very lustful. They're very, they want to look for things that they might not expect on a day to day basis. And if you're an NBA player, I mean, your head's in and out, especially at that age. Have your fun, Jordan. You are the superstar of that team.
Yeah, do whatever you want. I don't care.
Good for you. Good for
Everyone
you.
was smashing the
Team
everyone
sucks.
was smashing the over on Jordan Poole's points last night because Ruby Rose was in attendance, and he got less than half of his point total.
Oof.
I think it was like 16 and a half. He
Yuck.
got 8 points.
PU.
Gross.
PU. Just
Wizards,
terrible
you missed the tank by one season. I don't know what we were doing.
I will say, shout out TikTok creator Lisco2000 for her take on "There's a Light That Never Goes Out" by the Smiths, by saying if the Kyle Kuzma bus crashes into us, to die by your side is such a heavenly way to die. It was so poetic, and I'm so glad that I could at least have that out of the Wizards season, because that was probably the highlight, and it was made by nobody on the team.
At
It's
least
great.
Kyle
I love
Kuzma
that.
had the cool pink sweater that had long sleeves.
Yeah, that was a little Ariana
Yeah,
Grande vibe.
why
I
not?
liked it. Good for him. Good for him.
We'll jump to the next one. Let's go to the last team. I'm putting them on fraud watch for no other reason other than injuries and an owner that decided to go all in on 3 separate injury-prone superstars. The Phoenix Suns.
Mhm.
Welcome to the fraud watch.
We'll talk about it.
Bradley Beal is gone for the next 3 weeks and will be reevaluated then due to whatever, was it his back or his knee? I can't remember what it was. Regardless, hurt. Kevin Durant, been really healthy, been playing very well. You got about 45 more games this season, maybe 50 if you're lucky.
That's being
Right.
generous. Yeah, all of those numbers are being generous.
So I don't know what's going to happen there. Devin Booker has been hurt this season, strangely. Like, I feel like he hasn't been super hurt in the past, but the injury bug goes around.
Happens.
Yeah, the Suns, you're under fraud watch. You have an owner that decided to spend billions of dollars on your team, and then also hundreds of millions of dollars in a luxury tax, all for you to just not play basketball. And I'm enjoying it as a Dallas Mavericks fan. I'm having fun.
Hey, shout out to the Phoenix Suns owner for essentially giving people free antennas. Was that true, or was that propaganda?
Probably,
You
I don't know.
it was Utah and Phoenix. They were essentially giving people, because they own their own network now. I think
Yes.
a lot of teams have been doing recently, including the Rockets. Essentially, the owner just sent an open invite and was like, "If you don't have cable and you want to watch Suns games, write me back."
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's great for the league. I mean, regardless of how the Suns team turns out, I mean, I I don't want to call them frauds, but I think it's great that we're giving people television access in 2023 as if it's some new crazy thing.
Yeah, that part's good.
Good for them.
That part's good.
Yeah.
The owner willingly spending money and doing it to the detriment of the future of his own franchise is interesting, and it happens every time a new owner comes in to a team. Steve Ballmer did it. It just keeps happening. It will always happen this way. They want to put their imprint on a team. That's how it works. The problem is he could have gotten other disgruntled superstars. Like, I'd probably rather have Damian Lillard over Bradley Beal right now if you're the Suns.
Yep. Oh, he looked good in purple.
He would look great.
That's not even there. Look great in purple.
If you were really like James Harden, would you rather have James Harden over Bradley Beal if you're a Suns right now?
I'm not with that.
I know you have more personal baggage with James Harden, but I'm not like ruling it out.
Yeah,
At least he would play a little bit.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because it does kind of beg the question, like, would you rather have somebody, who's out on injury all the time, or would you rather have someone who's out on injury but does it with his left hand and it's really cool and he does like the step back thing and like I mean, tomato.
Yeah, no, okay. Cool. That's fair. But you could also just not have traded all those things, had Kevin Durant, and gotten better role players. Trade DeAndre Drummond, get him out of there, get some better vibes in, get a different player. You were going to do the Nurkic for DeAndre Ayton trade regardless if he got Bradley Beal, I think. I think that was just going to happen because they wanted Nurkic and they wanted Ayton off the books. I don't know. I just feel like there could have been something else out there. But
Yeah.
they're on fraud watch. They're not frauds. I'm not saying they're frauds. They're just on my watch for potentially being a
Have
fraud.
our binoculars out. We have our binoculars
We're looking
out.
at them.
That's all we're saying. That's it.
The
That's
last
it. That's all
one,
we're saying.
you suggested this one, Victor Wembanyama.
Man, I gave so much praise to Chet. I feel bad, and especially because I suggested this too. I had such high, harsh feelings about this earlier today. But I mean, he's 19 years old, man. I mean, he is 2 years younger than Chet. Hasn't developed a consistent 3-point shot. Is 7'4" and getting 5 rebounds a game.
Somewhere around there, yeah, 5.
Somewhere 4 to 6. I mean, there's so much upside, but I don't want to sit here and say there's bust potential. But at the same time, I mean, at this very moment, something's got to give. That game in Phoenix was so cool to see. I watched that entire second half live, and I thought that we were witnessing the next Jesus come down at this point. And then we got put back to earth, within one game actually. We're not calling him a fraud yet. Stone, if you'd like to give me some Wemby talk, I'm all for it.
I think we just need to change our expectations of him. He's not going to be able to drive into the post, like just drive through the lane, dunk it whenever he wants. He's going to be able to do that sometimes on the fast break, absolutely, but he's not going to be able to take the ball from the 3-point line all the way in by himself half the time. And just because of how tall he is.
In one dribble.
And he's not going to make every three. No one does. Steph Curry doesn't. Luka doesn't. Kyrie doesn't. Like, just players don't make every three all the time just because he has an open window because he's 9 feet tall and can see over everyone.
Yep.
The problem is I think we're running into Porzingis territory with Wemby where he can't really back down like 6'3" guards sometimes. Like, not great. Not great. And then he rebounds at an alarmingly low rate. Where Porzingis for years we're like, why can't you just grab 10 rebounds a game? You were taller than everybody, just as athletic as everybody. Just grab the rebound. Wemby's in the same case. I think we just need to temper our expectations. We have to change what we think what Wemby can be. Wemby's going to be very good.
Yeah. And real quick, I just want to add this last thing. We're talking about positioning on the court, and if you are watching some of these Spurs games, you're seeing Wembanyama almost running already when the ball's being shot. So how can one get rebounds if he's already at the 3-point line when somebody is going up for a rebound? I don't know if I like what Popovich is doing or if that's one of the assistants' plans or what's happening over there, but something's got to give with the positioning. You cannot make someone stronger unless you put them in situations where they can become strong. And I'm not seeing Wemby in the post as much as I should on offense and defense. And I get that he's 19. I get that he's 7'4", 90 pounds, 180, but very small. Give it time. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. But you are on fraud watch for your rookie season. Just your rookie season.
Just your rookie year. I think the Spurs have a problem if they have two guards that are very ball dominant, create your own shot, don't need assists, don't need to pass. They don't need someone to pass them the ball. They can just get it and create a shot. And two of them, Vassell and Sohan, and might be one other. Like, that's just kind of what their team is. That's what they've been given, essentially. They haven't drafted very well necessarily, and they haven't had opportunities to really get free agents. And now you add this alien that you would like to give the ball all the time, but you have all these shot creators that do their own thing, and I think that's the problem. But I think Pop will figure it out.
Yeah, and people get read like books in the NBA at this point. I mean, of course, you have Jokic, who just plays slow as hell and works at his own pace, and that's why he's so successful. But, I mean, Wemby only has one bag, maybe half a bag. Shit takes time, It's okay.
Yeah,
that's all right.
It'll be fine. So that was Fraud Watch. This has been Zero Gravity. Apollo Media's NBA podcast. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're on Apple, Spotify, or wherever else you watch or listen to your podcast. We're on YouTube at Apollo HOU. Go follow us on social media at Apollo HOU. Shout out to Zing Zang and the Celebrity Mint for sponsoring this episode. And we'll catch you again later this week. We're probably going to put this next episode up on Wednesday. We got Thanksgiving this week. No basketball will be played on Thanksgiving. It's kind of their thing. They save it for football. Whatever. We got Christmas. But this has been Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast.